So, I heard you're looking for a go-to source for entertainment.
Wait for it.
Gaming?
Wait for it.
Anime?
Plus Ultra!
Mr. Erik Almighty and Phil the Filipino? Yeah, they've got you covered. And all you gotta do is... wait for it. This is the Wait For It podcast.
Hey guys, Phil Smith, aka Phil the Filipino here with the Kawaii Satori booth here at Bold Matsuri. Let everybody know a little bit about yourself, what's your name, and how long have you been doing this?
What's going on, guys? My name's Christopher. We've been doing this, we actually just started the company back in November. We're actually two artists that work together. It's me and my teacher. So I do most of the concepts. I start out the sketch, very bad sketch. My teacher finishes it and actually makes it amazing. So all this is he is so talented. He's been working about 20 years, and as soon as I met him, I'm like, bro, me and you are gonna take over this anime stuff. And we've just been doing things that we're really passionate about. In every anime that we do, we really try to put a scene or try to create a memory of something that really changed us when we watched anime. Say Cyberpunk. One Piece is one of our favorite animes. So whenever we did One Piece, in our piece, we actually tried to put each one to be their personality in it. Nami is actually holding money, and whenever you look at Luffy, he actually has as much of a Goldie Roger smile as possible. We always try to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
We also hide Zoro in a lot of our pieces. I'm honestly just excited to be here.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about y'all's pieces is they are very unique. It's not necessarily something you see over and over again. It gets a little repetitious, especially when you go to a lot of conventions. So that's why I really, really love y'all's work. As far, we've seen you guys obviously here at Bold, Collective Con, everything like that. What's again one of your favorite things about interacting with the convention goers?
So. Honestly, talking One Piece. So I honestly do honestly.
I'm not gonna. Please don't try and convince me to watch One Piece here.
So I was actually about to say that because if it comes down to One Piece, it's always anyone who loves One Piece is always trying to get that one person who hasn't watched One Piece to watch One Piece. And bro, talking to people who haven't watched One Piece, trying to convince them. Or if you get the One Piece fan, the people who's walking by as Zoro, they just want you to ask a question who has the best laugh in One Piece? And anyone will just it starts a 20-minute conversation of the happiest people in the world. So that, and honestly, a cosplays always look great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cosplays are my favorite part.
Definitely. Well, listen, we got, you're really busy, so thanks for taking the time.
No problem.
And let everybody know where we can find you on social media so we can follow you.
So it's actually be Kawaii _Satori on Instagram, and then my teacher is going to be DDY_OZY. And we honestly are running it. I appreciate you actually got to talk to me. We've now met each other a couple times.
Exactly.
We haven't got a minute to actually sit down.
Yeah.
You handed me a mic. This is super official. This is sick.
Well, thanks, Chris. We appreciate the time, and we'll see you soon.
Of course.
Thanks. What's up, guys? Phil Smith, aka Phil the Filipino, here at Bold Matsuri with IvanPatch, one of the vendors here this weekend. Ivan, obviously we've worked together quite a bit between the podcast, and we see you at all of these, so great to see you. Yes. So, what's one of your favorite things about returning to Bold Matsuri every year?
Honestly, seeing everyone all over again. I have a lot of Jacksonville regulars that I always see, and you guys are part of that. So it really makes the whole con for me. I'm always excited about seeing everyone again. Honestly, it sounds cheesy as hell, but it's the absolute truth.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. And obviously, you talked to us about one of your favorite things is getting to talk to the people that come up to your table about different anime. What's something when somebody comes up and they talk to you and you're like, oh, I can talk to them for hours? What is that? What's that top fandom you're most excited to talk about?
Okay. So there's two. And some people look at me like, oh my God, One Piece is one of them.
Of course.
I'll talk about One Piece nonstop. And then World Trigger is this really underrated anime. So whenever people know what it is, I'm freaking the hell out all the time, all the time. And so those are the two for sure, definitely.
Yeah. Well, listen again. Please do not try to convince me to watch One Piece. I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna trigger every single person.
You know what? I'm not even gonna try. I'm not even gonna try to argue with you about it because there's some people who my helper who's always at cons with me. She's like, it's too long. I'm never gonna watch it.
It's too many episodes.
Whatever. I'm not here. I'm not gonna go through it. It's fine. But people will rewatch Naruto all the time. But it's fine.
We've struck a nerve here. With Ivan.
It's a serious nerve, yes, it is.
Well, Ivan, thank you for taking the time. Let everybody know where they can find you on social media so they can keep up with you and then find out where you're going to be next.
So on social media, everything is always IvanPatch _artists on Instagram, TikTok. I'm gonna be at InfinityCon in Tallahassee in a couple weeks, and then MetroCon in Tampa in 3 weeks. So yeah, so have a lot to prepare for. So yeah, I'm excited though. I'm like a little nervous, but yeah.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
It'll be all right.
Hard-working guy here. Well, thanks, Ivan, for taking the time, and we'll see you soon.
Yep,
Give me a hug. Hey guys, Phil Smith, aka Phil the Filipino, here at Bold Matsuri, and I'm here with cosplayer Embertay. Tay, how are you doing here this weekend? How's the day gone so far?
I'm doing great. It was a great morning. We had a panel this morning, and since then, it's just everyone's been really nice who stopped by.
That's great. Yeah, and the panel I heard was fantastic. What's some of your favorite things about getting to do that? Because you get cosplayers from all different levels. People are just starting out, people that are seasoned. What's like one of your favorite things about doing those panels?
Panels are great because, especially like cosplay one-on-one panels, because no matter who's there or their experience level, you're going to learn something from them. Like I was saying earlier, there's always like 10 different ways to do something, so your way that you've been doing something might be different than someone else. So you just get to learn so much, whether you're like a panelist or in the audience.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's one of your favorite things just about the conventions in general? I mean, Bold Matsuri, this is year 3 here in this building, and every single time there's something new. What's some of your favorite things about just coming back to these conventions and getting to interact with everybody?
It's just everyone's so nice, and you don't have to like worry about how you like come off or like your interests or being judged at all. Like the community is just so accepting, and you can be whoever you are, whoever you want to be, and everyone's just like, yeah, I'm down for that too.
Right. One of my favorite things about coming to these is it's one of the only places, where some people, some of these kids especially, they get to be like who they really want to be, and they get that sense of community. So if you have never been to one of these conventions, definitely come out. So Tay, thanks for taking the time. Where can they find you on social media and everything else like that?
I'm Embertay, EMBRTAY, on every social media platform.
There you go. Super easy to find. Thanks, Tay.
Thank you.
Hey everybody, Phil Smith, aka Phil the Filipino, here at Bold Matsuri, and I am here with the cosplayer SoupNinjaha. How are you doing here today?
I'm doing great. Super busy, but super fun. Love to meet so many new people. I had tons of people come by today. I got to talk to them about all kinds of cosplay stuff. We talked for 15 minutes just about 3D printing, so that was cool.
That's awesome. And you had a panel this morning. How did that go?
The panel went great. We covered a lot of ground. Went literally top to bottom about cosplay, wigs, makeup, garment construction, props. And we answered a bunch of audience questions. That was great.
Yeah, and one thing that's so great about you see people in all different levels of cosplay. So if somebody is a little hesitant, what would you tell them to just get out there and cosplay whatever it is that they want to do?
I always say you let your passion drive you. That's what got me into cosplay. When I really fell in love with a character or a series, I'm like the best way, other than of course I do like illustration stuff too, but my favorite way to display the love for a character or for the fandom is to cosplay them. And on top of that, I always say cosplays are fun. It's always fun. It's always like you always try really hard to get as close as you can to like reference or whatever character, but you always do what suits you, what you're comfortable with, and ultimately it's just as long as you have fun and you have a smile on your face, you're going to look great.
Yeah, make it your own. Be comfortable. That's what I've gathered from a lot of cosplayers, and definitely take that take that note. So thank you so much. And where can people find you as far as social media?
All of my socials are at SoupNinjaha, often with an underscore after that. But yeah, I'm Sophie. Thank you so much.
What's up, y'all? Phil Smith, aka Phil the Filipino, with the Wait For podcast here at Bold Matsuri, here with the Sailor and Mailor Scouts of Jacksonville. How y'all doing today? How's the weekend gone so far for all of you?
Good.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, gotten to interact with a lot of people, and this is like the second or third time we've gotten to work together, so it's always great to see you guys. What's one of your favorite things about coming out to Bold Matsuri specifically?
For me, it's just kind of interacting with everyone as they're walking around. We saw some really cute kids in cosplay, and that always warms my heart. We saw 2 little Sailor Moons, and I'm like, and of course we have our little Sailor Moon and taking a nap in the back. So
living the dream.
That's what makes me happy. So.
Buying a bunch of
I think my favorite thing
spending money
about Bold Matsuri is the fact that so if you didn't know, the Mailor Scouts actually didn't exist until today, so this is actually our debut. No longer will we, as the boyfriends and husbands of the Mailor Scouts, sit behind the desk while everybody's doing their panels.
We will be the ones that get featured at conventions.
That's right. We are going to take
next time
over
it's going to be you guys, not going to even be the Sailor Scouts.
That's right.
Well, that's awesome. One great thing, again, about y'all being here is you get to interact with people that maybe have never cosplayed before. So what is something you would tell somebody who is a little hesitant and, maybe they're a little nervous about getting into cosplay? What would you tell them?
I would just say just go out and just have fun. Do it.
don't matter what the haters say. Just be yourself.
I was gonna say no, for sure. One of the things to do is do it, because the biggest hurdle that you're gonna do is just doing a cosplay. Doesn't matter if you bought the whole thing. Doesn't matter if you made the whole thing. Doesn't matter if it's good or bad. Just go do it and have fun with it, and then eventually maybe you can start doing your own thing, building on it, becoming better. You know.
Also, I want to say, it doesn't matter if you don't look exactly like the character. It doesn't matter about your skin tone or like your size. It doesn't matter. You're just dressing up and having fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So we thank you guys so much, and we can't wait to see what's next for you. Where is the easiest place to keep up with the Sailor and the newly formed Mailor Scouts as well on social media?
Well, the Sailor Scouts, we of course have an Instagram and Facebook, Sailor Scouts of Jacksonville on Facebook, Sailor Scouts Jack Instagram, and my wonderful husband has created the Mailor Scouts Jacks. It's their Instagram account. So you can, they're tagged in our Instagram as well. So we'll stay connected even though they talk trash about us on their Instagram.
There we go. Well, thank you all so much, and enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Thank you.
Erik from the Wait For It podcast here with Greg Abbey. You have been a part of so many amazing franchises. I mean, just look at the resume behind us. I want to ask you, how has it been going to these conventions and seeing fans old and new really getting into Yu-Gi-Oh! For the first time, or it being so important to their childhood? What has that been like for you?
I mean, it's been an amazing experience. I've only been doing this for about a year. I did my first one last year, and it's amazing to have. It's always been a great community. I think that's been one of the special things about Yu-Gi-Oh! In particular for me, just because I was on the original in 5Ds, and I feel like for a lot of the fans, not all of them, but some of the fans, like that could maybe not find a place in other places of, whether it's high school or just in life, found their community in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
And that's just a really special thing when people come to the table and you can tell like it's something that meant so much to them.
Yeah.
Which is something you don't think about. I mean, now it's 20 years on that the show's been in existence, and just to have those moments with fans has been amazing. So
absolutely. And when we're kind of talking about you coming to these conventions and seeing all of these people, is there any particular character, outside of just Yu-Gi-Oh, any character that you're surprised to see so many people come up to you and talk about?
I mean, for me, it's usually Yusei or Raphael, and most of the conventions are anime, so it's definitely mostly Yusei is the main thing. And Stardust Dragon was his card, so I signed a ton of Stardust Dragon. But yeah, so it's usually the three main characters I played, which is Raphael from the Turtles, Tristan, or Yusei.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, with some of the things that you've gone over with fans and discussed with them, what is the one thing you would tell your fan base that these characters represent you the most of? So if you have one definable feature that all of these characters share, and if you can't pick one, what is the biggest definable feature from these characters that represent you?
Tristan has amazing hair, so I always try to do it. Does it look all right today?
It looks great.
Raphael has anger issues. I wouldn't say I have anger issues, but ironically, the day I auditioned for that, I had just had an argument with my then girlfriend, now wife. I brought that in, so I have a little bit of rage in me. You might not think it, but I do. I mean, for Yusei, what I love about him is he's always in command. He's kind of cool. I aspire to that. Not that I am. I can play it out in an anime character. So those would be the qualities.
That's amazing. Greg Abbey, everybody. Bold Matsuri here in Jacksonville. We've had a hell of a time. Make sure to make your way out to the next one. And Greg, thank you so much.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hey guys, Phil Smith, aka Phil the Filipino here at Bold Matsuri in Jacksonville, Florida with Wayne Grayson. Wayne, how is Jacksonville treating you so far?
So far so good. I've been inside all day, but I'm away from the humidity, so I dig that.
Exactly. We definitely don't want any of that in here. We always love seeing voice actors here at the conventions. What's one of your favorite things? Getting to interact with people, because I assume with your character work, you get to meet also younger fans that are just getting introduced, but also legacy fans like myself who have been following this character as far as Joey Wheeler, since I was in elementary school.
Okay, now I feel old.
Sorry.
It's all right. It's appropriate. No, but it's always great to come to these and see people who grew up watching the show, and I never get tired of hearing how it made people's childhood, how it helped them through like tough times. It's always good because we do these shows and we do them, record them, walk away. We don't know where it's going to end up, what impact it's going to have, and then when you go to these conventions, you hear these stories. It really is to our hearts. It makes us feel good.
Yeah, definitely. And again, with the character and a show that was just so complex. I think a lot of people maybe have this distinct notion that it's a cartoon. It can't really be that deep. What would you say to those people, that haven't given it a chance?
Watch it first of all. Because it's primarily a show about a card game, but there are really, really important messages that are being taught in the show that you wouldn't know going in there. Like I had no idea that Joey's going to evolve in such a staunch ally, such a great advocate for his friends, believing in yourself, finding ways to overcome adversity. These are things that I did not know when I got the role that would happen, and it's another side benefit because it's a cartoon, but it has meaning and it has depth and it affects people really, really profoundly in a nice emotional way.
Yeah, great answer. I love that. Yeah, Wayne, thank you so much for taking the time.
My pleasure.
Please let everybody know where they can find you, whether it be on social media or any projects you want to plug.
I'm still doing Yu-Gi-Oh! It keeps going on, it keeps chugging along. I'm also doing Prince of Tennis fairly regularly. I just finished Cutie Honey. There's lots of anime coming out there. You can find it if you know where to look. And I am at the real Wayne Grayson on Instagram. Check me out. I go there every once and again.
There you go. Thanks so much, Wayne.
My pleasure.
Hey guys, Phil Smith, aka Phil the Filipino here at Bold Matsuri Day 2 with Erik. And Erik, I know you had a little bit of a rough time getting into the convention, but how did the rest of the day go as far as day 1?
Day 1 was amazing. We had a really good Demon Slayer panel, a lot of amazing questions, and it was really fun to be there alongside some people that I actually haven't met yet. Honestly, here at conventions are where a lot of us voice actors meet for the first time, because we're often recording one at a time individually. So being able to interact with Alex and Griffin and Zeno and everybody and for the first time ever on a panel, it was really fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
And everybody here has just been so nice.
Great. Yeah, that's really crazy because I was telling this to Zeno too, your characters are together all the time, but you guys aren't really together all the time. So you get to hang out with not only, the fans, but also essentially your coworkers. So I'm sure that's probably pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah. Well, what was it about just coming to conventions in general that just, what's one of your favorite things about coming to stuff like this? Because, a lot of these people that come here, it's one of the only places where they get to meet other like-minded fans such as themselves. And, what's some of your favorite things about them?
Oh, that's pretty much it, is the like-mindedness and being able to hold long conversations about things that would normally get people walking away at parties.
Right. Yeah. You want to talk? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I don't know.
exactly.
I have no idea. What is it about? Because, anime specifically, I think, is a very special genre. I think a lot of people that are unfamiliar with it will group it in with cartoons and other type of animation. And again, all that type of stuff is fantastic as well, that as far as that medium. But what is it about anime do you think is specific, and what makes it a really, really special storytelling genre?
I think, there's a couple of answers I can come up with this. For one, it was really the only storytelling genre that was really getting exported out of Japan.
Right.
And without the budget to do the big Hollywood stuff, a lot of the efforts in their storytelling were sunk into these shows, and that really shows. It's just really high quality, not cartoon. Sorry guys, not cartoon.
Right.
Yeah. So there's that, but then also, I'm a big wrestling fan.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I love WWE, AEW, all that. Anime, I feel, has the same kind of appeal. You look at Dragon Ball Z, and it's wrestling, it's posturing, promos.
Lots of promos.
Yeah, the promos, and all building up to this big main event.
Yeah.
So a lot of anime is like that. It's got the same kind of psychology, I feel, as wrestling, in terms of hyping big crossovers or matches or stuff like that.
It's something about it feels like it's done when it's done in-house, and not to poo-poo on what Disney or Pixar, whatever they do, but all these projects are broken up amongst so many people. But then again, a lot of these projects, as far as anime goes, they're all done within a secular group of people, and then they get out to the voice actors, which again essentially becomes a little family within itself. So I think that's what it is. I think we both can agree that at least Roman Reigns promos don't go as long as Dragon Ball Z episodes. So he would take that opportunity, I think, if he had the chance. But Erik, you have a panel here later today. Super excited for that. Yep. Let everybody know where they can find you on social media and any projects you're working on.
All right. Well, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Kimerer, Kimerer. I'm also streaming on Twitch at Erik Kimerer, and that's Erik with a K, by the way. And projects I'm working on right now, we have Demon Slayer Season 3 currently airing, and I get my little seasonal Obanai cameo.
There you go.
Thankfully, as far as I've seen. So, I just finished wrapping Season 2 of Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro, which is a really fun rom-com. I really enjoy it. It's not for everybody,
sure,
but I find the humor and I love it.
Absolutely.
And then I just was in Mashal, Magic and Muscles, which just aired on Crunchyroll. I think that's the limit of what I can talk about.
There you
now.
go. Yeah, it's a lot of what day is it? Yeah. What month is it? What can I discuss?
Oh, and I mean, this was a while ago, but hopefully just to hype the next part. The Grudge of Edinburgh, the Seven Deadly Sins movie, Part 1 is on Netflix. We released that last year, and hopefully Part 2 should be coming sometime this year. I'm not sure exactly when, but
awesome.
Yeah.
There you go. Make sure you follow Erik again where all those places are at, and see him at a convention near you, hopefully. Thanks, Erik.
Thank you.
Hey everybody, Erik from the Wait For It podcast here. I'm here with Griffin Burns. You're going to see amazing characters that we have here, none other than the Miss Hashira for Season 3.
That's right.
Of Demon Slayer. We got to hear from you in our panels here at Bold Matsuri, and I know you're just starting to dub the role. I wanted to ask, what are some of the things you're looking forward to with what you know about this character, and what can audiences expect from your performance?
Well, there's a lot going on. You're going to see Muichiro be kind of cold, kind of cool, and also standoffish, kind of off-putting to maybe some people, but you're going to find that you're going to fall in love with him because he does have a big heart, and he's also just a straight-up badass who saves the day. So I'm really excited. I'm not sitting on the bench anymore with one line. I got a bunch of lines this season, so I'm really excited to be a part of Season 3.
Yeah, fantastic. I know when you're getting cast as the Hashira, everyone's wondering, when is my turn?
Totally.
When is my Rengoku, my Tengen moment?
It's my turn.
Exactly.
Now, finally.
This is the time.
Yeah.
And that's not the only great character you play. One of my personal favorites from you is Canute from Vinland Saga.
Yeah.
What has it been like going into that world and that role, and what has that character meant to you?
That one's a tough one because we see Canute in Season 1 as a young prince. He's not yet developed, and then over Season 2 he becomes a king. So I had to change sort of my voice print. He literally sounds older, but he also, the way I perform him, he's just more mature and more confident. He's also more evil. He's the main bad guy, really. But that's been a real journey, and I like being able to test my acting abilities. It's a very emotional show. So I'm just super pleased to be a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And one final question for you, because again, we've had a long day here on day 2.
Yeah.
So many people you've interacted with. I want to ask you on a personal level, is there a non-anime character that you kind of look to for your performances, or just something that really has impacted your personality that we might not know?
I'm a huge fan of King of the Hill. I love... God dang it, Bobby, I'm gonna whoop your ass.
All right. Well,
so that's what I don't know if I'm drawing it for any of my work, but I just think it's funny.
I don't know if we hear Hey Kill.
If you hear that voice in Demon Slayer, then you know where it came from.
That's amazing. Griffin Burns, everybody. Bold Matsuri will be here next year.
Hey guys, Phil Smith, aka Phil the Filipino, here at Bold Matsuri day 2 with Brandon McInnis. And Brandon, we're here on day 2. How was day 1 of Bold Matsuri for you?
Day 1 was amazing. Yeah. So many people here. It's really wonderful. I think there's something really special about Florida cons. I don't know. I've been doing this for a long time. I'm going to, I think, like 26 conventions this year.
Yeah.
And there's something magical about Florida convention culture. I don't know what it is, but I love doing cons.
It's all the Disney magic that like sprinkles that blows its way north. Yeah.
I get that.
Jacksonville sign actually says Jacksonville, 2 hours from Disney. So I think that's what that
makes sense. I get that.
So you almost made it, but it's okay. We're obviously having a great time here in Jacksonville. How was the panel that you participated in yesterday?
The panel was great. Demon Slayer panel yesterday. I mean, Demon Slayer is huge, right? And so it was wonderful to see all the enthusiasm. And I was the only demon on the panel. Everyone else was Hashira, so I felt very, I was alone.
Isolated. Yeah. What do you think it is about? I like to ask this question to everybody here. What do you think? Again, you kind of touched on it already. What makes the convention atmosphere so special?
I think it's the camaraderie between the fans, and I'm very lucky. I'm in a special place because I get to talk to people and like nerd out over all these shows that I'm a fan of as well. And so I think it's just fandom as a culture.
Yeah. Right. What do you think? What is fandom to you? What do you think? Kind of like.
What is fandom
Yeah, I know.
to me? Ooh, I think fandom to me is belonging, right?
Yeah.
You can come from any background, any upbringing, anything, and if you like the same show, you have something in common, right? You know, so I think, especially in today's day and age, it's so important to find ways to relate to people, and so I think fandom is super, super important.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, getting to be here, you know, we've talked about it as we've done these interviews. It's a lot. It's a, you know, kind of an opportunity where people who are able to find a sense of community. You know, they find people that they have similar interest in, and that's always really, really great as well. So, how else, or what else are you up to as far as whatever you're working on, or what you can talk about?
What I can talk about? Well, right now, Dr. Stone Season 3 is airing on Slimeldub, on Crunchyroll, and on Toonami. Right now, that's exciting. I voiced Gen in that. The Mentalist. And what else? Oh, Black Clover. We just had a Black Clover movie come out. I voiced Finral, one of the Black Bulls in that, and that just came out on Netflix. So check it out.
Awesome. Well, I just want to tell you, Brandon, as I've been preparing for the convention, you know, I always like to do my research on everybody, and then in my research, I found your proposal video to Michael, and it is, guys, you gotta go watch this thing on YouTube. It's adorable. It is fantastic. So just wanted to let you know that I saw that because it's amazing.
I worked very hard on it. I was so nervous.
I bet. And but yeah, let everybody also where they can find you on social media so they can keep up with everything.
Oh, you can find me on social media. Brand Mickey, BRANMCI, pretty much everything, like TikTok, Instagram, what else, Twitter, and I also do song covers on Spotify, so if you just look up my name,
also really good.
Brandon McInnis on Spotify or YouTube, you can check them out on there.
There you go. Thanks so much for your time, Brandon.
All right, absolutely. Thank you, Paul.
Appreciate it.
Erik from the Way Forward podcast here with none other than Ian Sinclair.
Hi.
You're excited.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
Super excited.
Super excited.
Now listen, I saw a lot of energy when we started here because I've been hearing the Brook laugh. I know you can do better than that. Ian, how you doing?
Doing really good.
That's fantastic.
I'm testing the limits of like how much of this mic is picking up on me in a very loud room.
Wow, that is really good.
No, see, okay, so when I do these cons, I always kind of have to be in the top part of my voice because you can hear me better if I'm up here and I'm going, hi. But if I talk at you like this, it's a lot harder too, so I don't get to be in this part of my range of cons very often.
Well, you know what? It's funny that it's funny you mentioned that. So we had the One Piece Q&A, and you were full energy.
I'm not One Piece.
It's One Piece.
One Piece.
I'm not going to take all that from you. I actually want to ask you the hard-hitting question because these energetic characters, you're charismatic.
No.
He's charming.
I'm not.
I can tell that's what you bring out of your personality with those characters.
You're sweet.
Tsukasa.
Yes.
You've got a couple of these characters, Kurino.
Yes. Oh, he's
what do you bring out of yourself to do those deeper characters?
Honestly, every single character, if you want to do them justice, you need to find the kernel of truth, of humanity for each of them. You have dozens of sides to yourself. How you talk to your grandma is different than how you talk to your dog, to your kid. You know, find the kernel of truth of you angry, you feeling betrayed, you feeling whatever, and you can source the voice from there. And if you started a kernel of truth, everything is nice and authentic out of it. So you just pick different sides of your personality. And that's what I do.
Yeah, and back to the fun side of things. You were the narrator for Kaguya-sama.
Yeah, I like you.
I like you. It's my favorite part of one of my favorite series. What is it like being in the booth recording those? Because you seem like you're having a blast just seeing what's happening in the show.
Well, one of my great pleasures is that I wanted you guys to think that I was improvising. I wasn't, but y'all think so. And so that is deeply flattering to hear you ask that. Thank you.
Absolutely. And of course, I have to ask the One Piece question.
Yes.
Somebody out there watching this is wondering why they should watch One Piece. 60 seconds or less, why should they do that? I know why.
They don't make 1,000 episodes of things that aren't good. You've heard probably from dozens of your friends that you should watch it. I don't know why you're not trusting them on that. You can get through about 3 episodes in an hour if you skip the outros and intros. It doesn't take as long as everybody says it does. The longest I've ever heard somebody say was 2 years, and they took a big break with it. Put it on at night before you go to bed, and trust me, you'll get through it really fast. It's great. It's the most sold piece of fiction in history. And I don't know really any other fandom that says that it gets better and better from the beginning, and it is always just getting more and more epic, which is what the One Piece fandom says across the board. It's kind of worth it.
As someone who just started his One Piece journey not too long ago, I concur.
How long ago? When was that?
I started a year and a half ago.
And how far are you?
I am at Alabasta.
Some people take longer than others, and that's okay.
I'm
It's
trying.
a beautiful, fun journey. No, but if you do have the opportunity to get in on something that the fandom really loves, if you can be there when they do reveal the One Piece, that is going to be the most epic moment in anime history. That's over probably 30 years of build-up at that point. So if you can be a part of that, it's going to be historic, which is why I'm going back through and reading the manga. So I will be completely caught up on both by the time we all finish. It'll be great.
You're not going to want to miss out on this. Ian Sinclair, everybody, thank you so much for giving us the time. Yo! Hey guys, my name's Erik from the Wait For It podcast.
Oh, you have your own microphone.
I
Hey, I'm
do.
Rob.
That
I
would
don't
be
have
great.
to hand him a microphone because he's got his own. That's how technology works.
That is how technology works. Robert McCollum here, and of course, an amazing resume behind us, Rob. We've gotten to talk a couple times here today, and so I wanted to get personal with you. Reiner is one of my favorite Attack on Titan characters, and I'd be remiss to start there because the episode that you play, and probably the biggest scene, is that speech before the reveal on the wall. Yes. And I wanted to ask you personally about that. I know you get to hear a lot of questions about Reiner, so starting there, what was it like making that scene and getting the magic in that scene? And did you expect the reception? Because I feel like a lot of people look at that scene as one of the moments that made Attack on Titan huge, in my opinion at least.
Yeah, it changed a lot of things. I will say Mike McFarlane, who is our director for the English dub of Attack on Titan, has done an amazing job all the way through. And the reason, I mean, there are some shows that I absolutely agree people like, yes, watch the sub. But he took so much care and effort to get the dub, to make the dub its own standalone, really strong thing. And this was one of the cases. First of all, he just said, I don't want you to watch, I don't want you to read the manga, I don't want you to know what's coming. I want all the surprises that the audience has to do with your character are also surprises for you. So when we got to that scene, and he said, we're just gonna watch it once all the way through. And we watch it in the Japanese first to kind of get the sense of it. And so I'm reading the subtitles and I'm following along and I'm like, wait, what? Wait, what? So like Bertolt's reaction is exactly my reaction in the booth. Like, wait, did he just, wait, so I'm, and he's, and I knew nothing about this and was freaked out both by the information and by the weird way that it was delivered.
Funny enough, it's one of my favorite things about that whole episode is just how deadpan, he's colossal, I'm the armored, I'm right there.
We need to go.
Obviously.
You're gonna come with me, right? Let's go. We're good though, right?
Yeah.
Like we're still buds.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was so, and he just, Mike said, like, let's watch the Japanese again. Give it nothing.
Yeah.
Put nothing on it because he is dissociating with it. And then later, in later episodes, you see how far that dissociation has gone and how much he's really not connecting it. But that was the first hint of like, okay, he's done a lot of things and they are messing with his mind right now because he just thought this was all going to go down fine.
Yeah.
And Bertolt's looking at him like,
are you serious?
What?
Are you serious?
You just did that? And he's like, yeah, no, it's cool. Come on. We're going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. That's also where I realized, like, I'd already figured out that there was much more to Reiner than meets the eye, only because people freaked out when I got cast on it and started talking about it on Twitter and all these things. And I'm like, this dude's got like 5 lines in season 1. Why does anybody care about Reiner? Oh, okay.
Pretty
there
big.
There may be something more. Yeah, but it was great. And I also thought it was a nice gift for Mike to give me to like, no, we're not going to tell you anything until it happens. And then you think, okay, I know what this guy's about. He's the traitor. He's going to be the villain of the piece.
Yeah.
Not knowing that we're going to get 4 more seasons of backstory and heart-wrenching emotional.
Yeah.
He's a gift that keeps on giving because every time you think you're done with finding out something new about Reiner, the show gives you another level and another thing to it. So it's been fantastic.
Yeah, and you've gotten to experience kind of that change in the character both for Reiner and then Stain in My Hero Academia. You know, we talked about Reiner and how important it was for you in the panel yesterday about how important it was to show exactly what he was experiencing, especially from your background. You're like just kind of that bipolarness that he has. Did you have something like that with Stain, especially with the All Might is Worthy speech? Was there anything you had to pull out of on a personal level, or did you really just have to invest in the just tenacity that character had?
I think the main thing for good question. I think the main thing for Stain is his unwavering commitment.
Yeah.
He's made his decision for better or worse. He actually knows it's bad. Like he says in later things like, I'm totally a monster, but these guys are worse. I'm committed. Here's what I'm doing. This is the road I'm going down. So Reiner is constantly questioning everything. Stain questions nothing, at least in the beginning. Now we're getting to see some shades of Stain in the new, no spoilers, but there might be a Stain return if you've caught up with the new seasons.
He's been locked up for a little bit.
But you have some time to think
Yeah, exactly.
when you're frozen for 2 to 3 years. We don't even know how long it is. But yeah, no, Stain is very much this is what I'm doing, and I'm not going to window dress it at all. I'm not dressing it up for anybody else, and I'm not going to do it for you bad guys or you good guys or anybody. I'm just going to be who I am.
Yeah.
I wish Reiner had that kind of clarity. I wish I had that kind of clarity. I mean, I would hope I would make better choices, but I would love to be that confident about anything that I was doing.
Exactly, absolutely. And my last question for you, this is again on something that I know you very well from, is Terror in Resonance. Shibazaki is one of my favorite performances that you do.
Love that guy.
I was just very curious, what was it like getting cast for that role? And if you can think far back to that recording, like what made that role different than the ones that you're known for the most?
Well, was Chris Bevins directed that show, who I'd worked with many, many times, and he's one of the directors that was at Funimation for years and years and years, and was known for picking people for things that were different than they'd done before.
Yeah.
Like if you were a superhero, young, thriving guy, I'm gonna have you be evil villain, low gravelly guy over here because I want to see if you can do it. Like challenging people in those ways. So he'd have me be like 80-year-old Oda Nobunaga in Drifters, and then come back and be. But this guy, he knew when he saw this character. Like anyone that's like, I have a long line of anime characters that have something in their mouth all the time, whether it is a cigarette or in Soul Eater, he's got Mifune's got the twig in his mouth.
Yeah.
Pipes, any kind of character that has something hanging out of their mouth. For some reason, everyone at Funimation goes, "Oh, that's a Rob character.
That's
we should
a Rob
do that."
character.
So yeah, he's got his cigarette and his stubble the whole time. I love that character. That show is deep and asks interesting questions, which is one of the things I love about anime. Same reason I love Psycho-Pass.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another show with a character who has a cigarette dangling from his mouth a lot
There's
of the time.
There's a theme here.
There's a theme. If you want to look up characters with things in their mouth and one-eyed characters, I may be at the top of the list of Crunchyroll's
Absolutely.
list.
Well, Rob, you've been such a pleasure. Thank you so much for taking the time out. I do want to definitely mention one of the great things that you're doing here in Pride Month. What does this mean to you? Let us know a little bit about this initiative you're here for.
Well, so my son is trans, and with everything that's going on politically in Florida, I don't necessarily think this is the place to necessarily beat your politics into the world. But at the same time, I'm like, what do we do about Florida? And he said, well, firstly, definitely don't boycott it. These anime fans are not the ones, they're the ones that are being impacted by this. Don't abandon them. So he found a charity called the Campaign for Southern Equality that has been working for LGBTQ in the South for many, many years, but now they've taken a really active role with what's happening in the trans community and are providing medical transport fees for people that need to leave the state to go get their medical care now because it's been outlawed by the Florida law that said it was for only to protect children, but it actually cut out the availability for all adults of any age, no matter what they told you. So those people are having to travel out of state to get their medical, and so this is a fund that helps them pay for that and find and arrange the travel and that sort of thing. So we're donating 15% of everything that we earn, and then we're encouraging other people to get on and find out about them. Because, A, it's Pride Month, and B, that's a community that is very involved in the anime world. I've had a bunch of people come up that have said it's so great just to see this kind of representation and see it called out in a public forum like this. And so it's been great.
I absolutely love that. And again, this is something that in the anime community is all about embracing people for all of their differences. And I hope we can bring a little bit of that anime community to the rest of the world. And I'm glad that Rob is here to definitely have this initiative. Thank you so much, Rob. You've been a pleasure. I really appreciate it. And Robert McCollum, everybody.
Thank you for watching.
What's up, guys? Phil Smith, aka Phil the Filipino, here with the Wait For It podcast at Bold Matsuri here in Jacksonville, Florida. You remember it, right?
Yeah.
Here with Zeno Robinson and everybody in his line.
Can we show them?
Can we show them? Yeah, shout out.
That's beautiful.
And Zeno, you were saying this is your first time in Jacksonville, Florida. How
It
is everybody
is.
treating you so far?
Pretty well. Everyone has been really nice and really sweet so far. So it's pretty cool.
You just came off of a panel. How did that go with everybody as far as the Q&A?
It was cool. It was Demon Slayer. Alex Lee is my boy, is my brother right there. So it's always fun. We don't do a lot of cons together, but when we do, it's always a good time, and I always love seeing him. And Griffin and Brandon, and Brandon's really sweet, and he's really cool. It's always good seeing him. And Griffin's amazing and very talented, and Erik, Kimerer, who's also incredibly talented, and so it's really cool. I'm just like surrounded by a bunch of inspiring people.
You hear that a lot. It's so crazy because like obviously your characters are together all the time, but you guys don't get together all the time. So is that maybe one of your favorite things? Is just getting to see your friends and your coworkers?
Yeah, and like getting to meet the people who are like behind. I'll watch the things that we do back because I have to judge myself harshly on everything that I do, and I'll be like, wow, whoever that person was really incredible, and like getting to meet them and like hear how they approach their artistry, especially like Brandon. I love the way he said something in the panel. It was just like the tonates of his, the vocal. He said something really like, and like wow.
Every once in a while, something just hits. You're like, oh, wow.
That was incredible.
Wow.
This man he's about it. So it was really cool.
Absolutely. Well, Zeno, we don't want to keep your people waiting. Just let everybody know where they can find you on social media or any other projects you're working on.
Yeah.
And we'll let you get back to it.
Cool. Yeah, you can find me on social media everywhere at Childish Gamzino. Sometimes there's an underscore in between Childish and Gamzino, so there's that. Of course, it's been announced, but Zom 100, the Bucket List of the Dead anime is coming to Netflix. The dub starting in July. I play the lead character Akira in that. He's a kid who, the zombie apocalypse happens and he builds a bucket list, things he wants to do before he becomes a zombie. He was working this job that was kind of like another way of being a zombie to like, corporations and capitalism, and so the zombie apocalypse kind of frees him to do whatever he wants. So he makes it work. There's that, and of course there's Persona 3 Reload, a remake of the Persona 3 series, and they changed the voice cast for the remake, and I play Junpei Iori in the game. So Persona 3 is one of my favorite in the series. It's my personal favorite, and so I played it, the OG. So I'm really excited to jump into it again.
Fantastic, Zeno. We can't wait to hang out with you for the rest of the weekend. Thanks for taking the time.
Give
it up for Zeno, everybody.
I love you all.
So, I heard you're looking for a go-to source for entertainment. Wait for it. Gaming. Wait for it. Anime.
Plus Ultra!
Mr. Erik Almighty and Phil the Filipino? Yeah, they've got you covered. And all you gotta do is wait for it. This is the Wait For It podcast.